Johnny, start looking at some quartering targets.
Something you see a lot in America.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, going back to what we've discussed about techniques and stuff, majority of quartering type targets, going away type targets, don't physically need a lot of lead or a lot of forward allowance.
They might not need a lot of forward allowance, but they can be under a lot of power.
Yeah, and especially when you go to those sort of greater distances, they look like they need, you know, big gaps, and then you start doubting yourself with how you're going to get to that space and make that move. So what we're going to look at here, we've got variations of quartering birds, you know, some slightly higher showing belly, some lower sort of showing face and showing dome, which I tend to be thinking that any sort of quartering bird that's showing dome or showing face, I think they scare people a lot more than if they're showing belly.
Okay.
I think people tend to find them if they're hardest to read, you know, when they're...
The light glare's a little bit more for dome than a belly as well,
I think
right?
they just look like they're flying differently, right? So people sort of tend to panic on those a little bit more than if, you know, if we throw a nice sort of quartering bird up in the sky showing belly, it appears a lot easier to shoot than if it was the same sort of bird but lower showing face. So
these are things that are actually worth paying attention to when you watch the target.
And try and sort of think of them the same, you know, shoot them the same way. The process can be the same. So we'll start with the right to left sort of rising quartering bird from here. So same thing as what we've sort of been talking about previously. Just make sure the clay's beating the gun before we make that move. Let's make the move into the back of it and then we'll go through from there. Okay.
But bear in mind that it's quartering and ergo probably doesn't need as much lead as if it was fully crossing.
It's all on your gun speed and timing with that.
Could you afford to hold out a little later, or is it just target specific? Because the move is less.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, depending on how early you want to kill the bird. Obviously, it's the argument to say with the quartering bird is if it's a fast quartering bird, therefore your kill point wants to be sooner rather than later because it's getting away from you quickly, then you're going to want, what I would suggest is the whole point comes in sooner. So you know the moment you've seen that clay, it's already beaten you. So you know you're on the back of it and you can just drive through the line.
Given that also, just ballistically, the further away it is, the harder it is to hit it and break it.
Exactly that. So we'll start with this blue right to left crosser here. Again, you're not going to really think about seeing a lead and wanting to go to that gap. It's just trusting your eyes and making sure we insert the gun to the space behind and then just go with it.
Focus your in to the line and just...
Yeah, you know, and this sort of say right where we want to place the shot. Well, the shot wants to be on the sort of top edge of that target, top front edge. So that's where we're going to focus because that's where we want the gun to end up. So we sort of focusing on that front edge. So if we see the front edge beat the gun, then we can take the gun into it and go. So obviously here, as we go on to more of the quartering angles, footwork again, it's still important to make sure our feet are facing. So that left foot is open, the body up to face nice and square to the kill point and then turn back. So unlike a crossing target, we've got a big window to kill it potentially. So we really want to move the feet and open the body up to keep the shoulders square. Here it's a much sharper angle. So we still want to position the feet so we're nice and square to our kill point and then turn back.
The whole move angularly is just less.
Exactly, it's a much tighter angle, right? So we'll do that same one again. So oh, that's just front hand and having the confidence to drive the gun in from behind and go and not just be lazy, because that's what we tend to think as well. We can be sort of take a shortcut and be complacent and just go, oh, it's not going very far, I can just go bang. But then it's easy if you don't put the work in, we've missed, right? So still do put the same effort into these sort of simpler targets as the bigger targets.
You easily lose one, and losing one of those is the same as losing anything.
Hey, you know, there's no point if we're on a 100 bird course and we miss 2 of those. Often we'll say, oh yeah, I shot 95, 96, but I missed 2 of those ezy birds on station 7. Well, you may as well miss all 4 of the, the big battus.
This is going to take less mental capacity, get it in the bank.
That. Yeah, 100%. Let's have a look going back the other way. So we've got a quartering from the other side now, Johnny. So left to right, this one's actually a battu target. So quartering left to right from the trap here. Let's try not to think of it any other way. It's a battu, but it's still a quartering type target. So muzzle's back, eyes back, see the clay beat the gun, and then drive through the line of it.
See, my instinct on a target like this, which is much more of that typical quartering going away target, would be to pop into a space. And you're saying that's a no? Well,
I'm not saying it's a no, I'm just saying it's risky. There's a lot more, there's less margin for error there. Your timing's going to be very good to get it spot on to place the shot. So I'd say just see it beat the gun and then drive him from the back of it. We know it's not going to want a great gap because of the speed and distance of it.
And again, because we've got less angle of travel, the angle of gun swing is going to be smaller again than what we've just done.
Correct, and it's the gun speed which is killing it rather than us saying, oh, I'm going to see 2 foot, 3 foot.
But it's not going to need a lot of lead, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So get yourself set up for there. Just confidence and trust in your eyes. You don't need to hold out, just to have the confidence that once you see that clay beat the gun, then move, doesn't it?
It's just where visual acuity is really important, picking that clay out as a flash over the green.
Yeah, if your whole point's out here, you're going to see that clay, and then you're going to want to try and go on it, but the clay's out here still, yeah, and it has not reached you, and then you're in this no man's land in the space in front.
So don't be afraid for the quartering bird to come a little further back to the trap.
Just come further back, trust your eyes, and as you see the clay through the gun, then go. Just use the drive of the front hand to drive the gun through the bird.
Okay. And 9 times out of 10, this is the shot you'd recommend for every...
Yeah, because it's safe, you know. How much lead does that want?
Oh, it's hard to perceive moving the gun as fast as I am, to be honest.
So it's nothing, right? We're just killing it with gun speed, so just trust the gun speed. It's quite simple, isn't it? Take the gun to a bird and pull the trigger, right? So we've just, we've moved not even 10 yards, Johnny. We're just going to sort of come close towards this quartering Batu now to make it more of a sort of true going away target.
And you're not going to be able to wind quite as close back to it, but it's still a classic quartering away.
Exactly, yeah. And try and ignore the fact it's Batu. Yeah, just treat it like a normal target. So gun holes just sort of off where we want to kill it. Again, looking through the gun to see the clay come through you, so it beats the barrel. Now, as soon as the clay beats the barrel, just trust your eyes straight into the bird and pull trigger.
Even shorter move.
Yeah. So again, here we're looking for our pickup point, hold point, etc. So we can set up. We've got a nice hold point, so we exactly know where the gun's going to start, where our eyes are looking, so we can see that clay come through, and then we can.
Is it fair to say on a target like this, where the window is smaller, that you need to be that much more precise with your hold points?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say even on a closer target, shorter angle target like this, as well as a big crosser, you still want to be very specific with the hold points, pickup points, and kill points.
Down to a blade of grass or a flower, or
yeah, just exactly that. Something that's quite unique that you can mark. So you've got a reference point. The more specific you can be there, the more specific the end results will be, and you'll become more consistent.
I did a training session here last year with the shot cam, and what that taught me is when I thought I was being quite consistent, there was still a large margin in my hold point difference, and it really helped me to hone in exactly where I was pointing shot to shot, or at least to teach me that I wasn't as good as I thought I was with that.
And when you're shooting really well, your time is good, it just sort of flows and everything happens subconsciously, it will be slightly further out than you think, I imagine. But it'll all just happen. It's a good sort of discipline to get timing right and say, right, that's my hold point, and then make that position from there. Batu there, Johnny. You call Paul when you're ready.
Paul.
So we've looked at a couple of different quartering options. We're going to go into sort of quartering standard target, showing a bit more face or dome.
Quartering just means a target that is somewhat going away from you.
Correct, yeah. So you could have quartering chandelles, quartering loopers, quartering batus, quartering middies, quartering rabbits. And my approach to what we're sort of talking about here would be the same for all of them, regardless if it's a chandelle or a rabbit or a standard clay.
It's a real change to how I've ever shot these before, but slowly we're finding that rhythm.
Yeah, exactly, because it's the timing of the shot is the same. So we're just going to look at this one showing a bit more facefulness now. So what we do, John, exactly what we've done previously. Set up so we're nice and square, shoulders square to your kill point, and bring the gun back. And let's just see the clay through the gun before we insert and make the move into your lead.
Nice, short move, similar as to before.
Correct, yeah.
Pass the gun, bang.
Yeah, straight into it. So obviously we want to get them dead sooner rather than later.
Pull.
You see there, just nice and controlled, consistent with the kill point, the move, and it looks perfect. Your timing looks absolutely spot on there.
Almost like I've listened to what you said.
Yeah,
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Well done.
Summing up, quartering targets, less gun movement, really specific hold point, and trusting yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily like less gun movement, but it's more controlled in the right area. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not, we don't want to go less gun movement in the sense that we hold out very close to kill points and hardly move the gun to sort of just spot shoot stuff. Whether the gun's, pre-mounted, soft mount, gun down like a FITAS mount or whatever, we still want to make sure we're on that line of the bird. So as the clay's coming through, we're looking through the gun, we can insert the gun, behind the target, underneath the target, and then drive straight into the line and shoot him.
Okay.
And basically it's more confident and instinct rather than trying to be steady and measure and hold gaps and stuff like that.
Because they are getting away.
Yeah, and then we're more likely then to sort of start checking and looking at barrels and all that sort of stuff. So we want to get out of that and just use that instinct and those eyes.
It's an instinctive shot through and through.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're on the right line, your timing's good. As soon as that clay beats the gun, your hands will just take the gun to the bird and pull the trigger.
Again, that's through training of the basics that becomes a reality.
Correct,
rather than you walk in and are naturally good.
And it's probably one of the sort of targets where a lot of people don't actually do what they think they're doing, because they see this blur, and if their whole point's too close to the pickup point, they see this blur and they just go. and actually the clay's nowhere near the gun, we've gone out the space and we don't really know where we miss it. You know, majority of quartering targets, obviously this will vary depending on the speed and the distance, but most quartering targets, going away targets, will be missed in front more so than anything else, because obviously when we think about it physically, the angle's, you know, shallowing the whole time, right?
It will not need a lot of lead.
Correct.
Physically.
Yeah.
Thank you.